Hi everybody, this is Pramita here, and I will be doing some ephemera envelope sort of thing that you can send out in your Happy Mails or to your pen pals, or you can even use them in your snail mail or attach them alongside your junk journal. So this is the design team project that I had done for Pinkadoo Studio. She's pretty active on Instagram, and I love her collage style. So I'm on her design team, and what I did was I made an envelope with pockets as well as a belly band. So here you have two pockets at the bottom, crossing each other, overlapping each other rather, and then I have a bunch of ephemera that go inside these pockets. They are pretty roomy, and you can use them to store whatever. And in the middle, what I've done is I've created a kind of belly band. I know this is looking a little bit dark, but that's how things are. And this closes up, and here I've used a small cluster. I've layered this image on a piece of lace, and then this is the back. So these papers are all from Pinkadoo Studio. I'll link her shop in the description box, and she has some great collage sheets. You can use them in small projects like this or decorating any kind of journals. So now we come to the main part. So I have been making a lot of these envelopey, foldy kind of ephemera folio sort of structures that I've not finished entirely, but I've just started building them up. So you can see I have done some random stitching also. I've used this from Junk with Steph, even this image, and also I've used labels from here and there. Some are some floral images also from my shop. So I will be showing you how you can make something like this with very easily. You can finish this project basically in 1 hour. If you have all your supplies ready, you just need to put it together. So we're going to do the first part today, and I'm going to show you how easy it is. So let's come down to the basics. This is a paper that I probably will never use. So what I'm trying to do is I am trying to fold this. Now I don't know why my camera is not focusing. I'm folding it, and then I'm going to tear off half of it. So we're going to be working with 6 by 12, as I always have said before in a few of my previous videos. So I will be using the 6 by 12 paper and fold it to make it into an ephemera folio envelopey kind of thing. Now you can do it in many ways. I'm just showing you one of the ways. Maybe I'm going to show you another method in a few days time. So you can also attach them with your journals. So there's going to be basically 2 score lines, one for the lid and one for the bottom part. So, and the middle portion is going to be of course in between these 2 score marks. So you can eyeball them just as you are able to. I mean, you can just guesstimate the folds sort of thing, or you can go with an accurate measurements. Now I'm going to show you the accurate measurements also. So let me measure this our inspiration piece first, and then I'm going to give you the actual measurements that I had worked on. So I have my scoreboard here somewhere. Just let me look for that. My workspace is again a mess, so it's very difficult to find things around. So this is the scoreboard. I use a mini scoreboard mostly because it's very handy and suitable for my projects. So I'm going to score this at 4.5. So I'm going to fold this, and then what I'll do is I'm going to leave half an inch from the top. So I'm going to turn this over, and I'm going to leave half an inch from the crease that we had created. Yeah, from here, half an inch from here, and I'm going to score again. So I'm going to score over here. So very lightly, because this paper is not cardstock, this is a paperweight paper. So you need to keep that in mind. If you're using a printer paper, you can also use up, sometimes, those mistakes you make in the printing papers, while printing papers, you can use them up easily in projects like this. So I need a little bit of gap on the top, so that if I put my ephemera in, they do not get bumped up or creased against the lid. So I'm just making sure that all the measurements are okay. Now, regarding the envelope flap, what you can do is you can round them, you can make triangles, you can just leave them as it is. So what I had done in my previous one is I just rounded up the corner. Now I am not folding the envelope totally. I'm just giving this I'm just trying to gauge how these two flaps will lie, and I'm holding them very lightly and just rounding them over, just eyeballing them, basically just guesstimating. So that's done, and I have my envelope flap ready. Now the next thing comes is papers. What are you going to use? You can use any scraps that you like. Now is the time when you get creative. You can do it in two ways. One can be, the envelope part that I have done, that it opens from the top. Otherwise, you can make it into a folio, where like a trifold, and it can open from the side. So it's totally up to you how you want to do. I am going to do just like the previous one, and maybe we're going to do something different in our next video. So in this video, I'm just going to do some collage and cover it up and show you how you can do that in very easy method. And in the second part, we are going to decorate this a little bit, add collage papers or something of that sort inside. We're going to add a belly band, some pockets, something of that sort. So that's going to take another part. So here is what I'm doing. I'm just gluing things up. I have these scraps from my previous projects. This is from an old gardening book that I have. This was quite a bummer for me when I bought this book, because I had bought it online. I had read the instructions, the details of the book, and I thought that it had a lot of floral images and stuff like that. But when it arrived, I saw that it had bunch of photographs of flowers, which is not my preference. So I don't know, I do not use that book much, only the written pages. So here I have some collage sheets from my shop, Vintage Botanical Digital Collage Sheets. And let me tell you, I'm having a discount. I'm having a sale on these papers. They are all 20% off for this week. And the previous ones, the previous collage sheets, they are all 20% off. So if you want to, stock up on things like this and you haven't yet done so, you can go and pick them up right away, because the fun part of digital images is that you can use them again and again. So that's one interesting thing that you can do. And what you can also try and do is you can create a lot of collages, not think too much, even if you mess up. So I want that bird image on the right hand side corner, and I'm just trying to take off the white edge from the paper, and I'm totally off the frame. I realize. So I'm just going to take off that bird image, and you will see I'm just placing the paper, trying to gauge how much I need. So I'm just going to take off the portion that I need. So I'm going to tear that off, just guesstimating how much I will require. So I'm just going to take this portion off, and I'm going to, you know, try and not create any sharp edges, as I do not like that. So I'm going to place this. Now, one mistake I have done, I realize, is that I should have put the white background inside. In all my previous projects, what I had done was I had collaged on the printed paper side itself. But on this one, I don't know why, what happened. I just, I just made a mistake like this, a very silly one. Anyways, so I'm using this grid paper just to break down the image. And again, I'm working in threes, as you can see. There are three types of paper over here, this bird image, as well as the grid paper and the book page. So I'm just going to ink the edges a little bit, and then I'm going to place that. You don't need to do that, but I just don't like the white edge that shows through. So that's the only reason why I'm doing that, and I'm doing it very lightly. Only on certain places I'm just going with a little bit of heavy hand, because I want that irregular look sort of thing. So I'm going to take off the white paper. So this is a scrap that I had from Tim Holtz paper packs, and I am going to ink this up very lightly because it's already quite grungy and I don't want to gunge this up anymore. So that's that, and I'm going to just glue this up. This glue stick, I don't know why, maybe because of the heat, it's very, very, very hot where I'm living, and now that everybody is at home, this heat is unbearable. I simply can't bear the heat, and it gives me weird headaches. I just can't stand that. So anyways, I'm just putting this image down, and I'm just gluing this, and just as I said, this glue is very sticky. It's just sticking on every surface that I'm laying that onto, and it's becoming like gloopy sort of thing, and I really am averse to glues like that, but I don't know why this glue is becoming like this. Anyways, this time around I didn't buy the big chunky, those glue sticks. I bought the smaller ones because I thought maybe because they are bigger, they are melting away faster. I don't know, this is my weird logic. Anyways, so I'm just turning over that paper. As I said before in another previous project that I had shown, I like to give them a folded over kind of look, and I have done so over here, and this gives kind of a finished look. You don't have to do this because at the end of the day you're going to stitch this, so it's obviously going to get a finished look. So now we are going to work on the front lid sort of thing, that envelope lid. So now I'm going to see. Now I could have opened this up and done the collage in one single go, like one single sheet of paper, but because these are of different alignments, like when you open the envelope you see a different section, which bothers me if it's upside down, and so that is why I keep it in the shape itself I want and then start placing things down. So here I'm trying to gauge what I can use, but again, as I said, I'm not sure. I also have another tub which has more cutoffs. So there are quite a few tubs. I have 3 tubs like that, 3 or 4, the smaller tubs, not the bigger ones, smaller tubs like that, and I often dig into those for extra inspiration or papers like this. So I'm going to try and show you what I'm talking about. So this is a tub that I use. These are pretty wide but shallow. They do not have much of a depth. And that suits me fine because this is from My Poch Prints. That suits me fine because if it's too deep, then I never tend to go towards the deep end. I just skim over the top, and then I decide that whatever I'm going to use. But the things that are lying towards the deep bottom, they never tend to get used. So I have changed my system and I've started using shallower baskets. So that makes me conscious of using up every little scrap that I have in that shallow basket. So I'm trying to gauge what kind of flowers I want. I might use this, but then this flower at the top will be upside down, and that I do not want. So I also want to use up this paper because, as you can see, I've already cut out some items from the, just scooped off some paper from the middle section. And I don't like to keep papers like this. This bothers me a lot. I want to use them up entirely or keep them in manageable scrap size. So this is like an odd size, and it can only be used in collages. It cannot, probably in tags, making tags and all, but not as anything else. So I want to use this part, but I also want to keep that that font that we are using. So I'm just tearing this up, and I'll keep that sunflower because I want that sunflower in at the back of the envelope, and I'm going to just move all these away. So that's how it's looking, but you can see it's a pretty weird shape that I have, and no worries, I can just add some elements in between these two white spaces, and we'll see what we can do. So this is another shallow tub where I mostly keep my neutral papers, mostly book pages and stamped images which have not worked out well, then some blank tea-dyed papers, and some random papers have landed here. I don't know how. I need to sort this out. Some doilies, tea-stained doilies and stuff like that. So I will be using probably these book pages. So I'm just going through the stash and trying to decide what I can use. That's the basic idea. So I might use that also. It's part of a receipt. But in the end, I don't use any of this probably. I will only use that digital from bit that I have. That is from My Poch Print. And just rounding off the sections. As you know, I do not like sharp, harsh edges. So I'm going to just lay this down. So I'm also looking for something suitable to go with this paper, and let me tell you, I just cleaned my workspace yesterday, and only today, it's been just a day, and it's already a kind of a mini mess that I've created. And that's only because of these scraps that I'm working with. Because I don't know, if you're working with scraps, you can never ever keep your workspace clean and organized. And if I'm not clean, if my workspace is not organized and sorted out, then I can never, work with having some sort of peace in my heart. It always bothers me that I need to clean this up, I need to clean this mess up. Anyways, I need to cover that corner section, so I'm just sliding this paper in just to see how much I can use that, or how it's going to look. At least I'll have a go. So it's looking okay because the script is of different style. That is from My Poch Prints, and I do not remember the name of the kit, honestly. This is about some sort of a writing kit that she has. I do have a lot of kits from My Poch Prints. I like her style, and so I don't remember exactly the name of the kit, but it's something to do with writing, penmanship, something of that sort, and a journal kit, something to do with writing and pens and papers and stuff like that. So I have that, and then again I need to fill up that huge gouged up shape that we have towards the bottom. So I'm trying to use this book page. Again, I have a book page at the bottom, so I'm going to skip that part. I'm not going to use a book page. So again, I'm going to try and dig out something else. So I'm looking through my paper stash and trying to find something, so I do not nothing is visible that can go well with this. So I'm just digging into it randomly. I don't know. I have this basket full of random scraps, as you can see. This is just one of the 4 baskets that I have, and I'm just going through these. So these are some rice paper elements that I have. So this one is a rice paper element collage paper that I have, and probably I'm going to use this. But then when I place it, I change my mind because it's too dull, and I don't know. It somehow blends too much into the other papers. I don't want that effect. I want it to stand out even if it's a tiny bit. So I decide using against it. And then I once again start looking for something else. So then I decide that I'm going to use this. This is actually a collage sheet that I have. These are meant for decoupage. So on multi-surface papers, you can say. So I'm going to use this. I like the dark splattery kind of portion. I'm going to use this, and I'm going to tuck this inside the book page. So when I add portions like this, I don't glue them entirely. I try to keep the edges a little bit less glued, so that if I change my mind, I can always tuck something in, and then towards the end I can seal everything up with some kind of sealant. It can be Mod Podge, it can be matte medium, it can be anything. It can be even your decoupage glue, whatever. So that is why it's easier for me to tuck things into when I want to. So I'm just going to let this slide into this nook that I have created. Yeah, so I kind of like it, and I'm going to glue this entire thing up. So I'm going to glue this up. And use the leftover that decoupage paper that I have. So somebody is trying to send me a message. I don't know. I'm so sorry about that. So I'm just trying to place that portion. Okay, and so now I need to trim off the extra bit. I'll just glue this part off. And more or less, the gluing session on this section is done. Okay, and so that's it. And now we need to work on the flap, on the front flap. So I'm going to turn this over, fold it, and gauge how much I need. So this is your back, and just trim off this tiny bit that I have. So I will stitch everything once I have layered everything up, and then it will get a kind of finished look. So this is the flap, and I'm going to work on the flap. So I'll put something on this side and then keep the other side blank, probably, I'm not sure. So I'm going to use this paper. This is the one that the decoupage paper we had used, and I'm going to glue it down. So I'm going to glue it down, but it will leave a tiny gap. Now the first agenda or the first intention of ours is to cover up that white space, which is the background paper, and then we can go on adding layers to it. So after putting things down, down the basic first layer, I can always come back and add little bits and pieces here and there to finish the project up. So it can be like this. So I'm just gluing this part up. So now the next thing is I need to trim off the excess and give this envelope a kind of a shape. So I'm going to trim off these excess and give this envelope a kind of a little bit of shape. So this is how the front looks, and now it might look a little bit bare right at the moment, but with the passage of time you will see, with the passage of time meaning when I finish decorating the entire envelope, you will see that it will acquire a kind of put together look. So you can watch that in the second part, because this part was already 27 minutes long, which is pretty long, and my phone does not allow me to film one section more than 23 minutes. So I had to edit and do a voiceover, and then we'll get to see the next part. So again, I'm taking off this excess, and now the next part is when I'm going to put down some labels, some ephemera, some bits and pieces here and there, and finish this up.